And the food wasn't bad either. You guys went to the jiggly room for breakfast?
Yeah, we brought you back a Egg McBiggin.
Have you ever wondered what really happened behind those roaring laughs on television? For 11 seasons, the unsuccessful shoe salesman Al Bundy became an entertainment icon in millions of American households.
He could never enjoy himself too much, because after all, his life was basically a sentence.
Is Ed O'Neill at all like Al Bundy?
Oh, yeah.
But behind the camera was a completely different world, heated confrontations, fateful turns, and even a startling truth that left the cast themselves stunned.
11 years we kept you in the black. No gifts for the cast? You know, I'm kind of speaking for the cast.
Right.
When it all came to an end, for the first time, the untold sides of the story would be brought to light by Ed O'Neill himself. Let's pull back the curtain on this television legend. In 1986, Michael G. Moy and Ron Levitt began developing a sitcom that went against the idealized family model that was very popular on American television. Their idea was a direct contrast to The Cosby Show, where the family was portrayed as successful and close-knit.
Come in here and park his feet underneath my dining room table and tell me that I am not a good mother?
The original working title was even Not the Cosbys. Instead of a model family, the story centered on a father who was disappointed with his life, a strong-willed wife and 2 children who frequently caused trouble. Fox, which was still a new television network at the time, saw the project's potential to stand apart and encouraged the producers to push the limits of the content. The instruction was to be as outrageous as you could be. Finding the right actor to play Al Bundy became one of the project's most important decisions. At the time, Ed O'Neill was primarily known for his stage work. He had just experienced a failed pilot with Popeye Doyle and had little reason to believe that a new sitcom on a young television network would last very long. As a result, O'Neill initially had limited expectations for the role. The casting director noticed O'Neill's performance as Lenny in Of Mice and Men and suggested that he audition for Al Bundy.
He didn't have to say a word. From me, as far as I was concerned, he didn't have to say another word. That was Al Bundy.
When he entered the audition, the actor immediately created the image of a tired man, slightly hunched over, walking heavily, and sighing repeatedly. These traits quickly became the foundation for the way Al Bundy appeared on screen. O'Neill later said that he drew some inspiration from his Uncle Joe, a man who had a fairly resigned attitude toward the things that went wrong in life. That approach helped distinguish Al Bundy from many sitcom fathers of the time. He was not a successful father, or someone who always had the right answer, but a shoe salesman who was constantly disappointed with his job finances and family life. Katie Sagal also made an impression during her audition for Peggy Bundy. When she arrived for the audition, she appeared carefully dressed and styled, which differed from the initial image of the character. Several other names were also considered for roles in the series, including comedians Sam Kinison and Roseanne Barr, but the production team ultimately chose a different cast. Even after the pilot was filmed, the team did not have the complete cast. Tina Caspary and Hunter Carson initially played Kelly and Bud Bundy, respectively. After reviewing the results, the producers felt that the chemistry between the 2 young actors and the rest of the cast was not strong enough. Ed O'Neill also had a say in the casting change. Christina Applegate and David Faustino were then chosen to replace Caspary and Carson. The scenes involving the 2 characters were reshot to fit the new cast. Applegate was still very young at the time, but she quickly established her image as Kelly Bundy, while Faustino became Bud, the son who was constantly trying to navigate life inside the Bundy family. On April 5, 1987, Married with Children officially premiered on Fox. It was one of the first primetime sitcoms on the new television network. With Ed O'Neill, Katie Sagal, Christina Applegate, and David Faustino, the series had established the core cast that would define its style for many years to come. But when that unconventional formula officially reached television, The reaction from viewers and the media quickly went far beyond what the production team had expected. The controversy erupts. From its earliest episodes, Married with Children took a different approach from most family sitcoms of its time. Al Bundy was not portrayed as a successful father, while Peggy Bundy was not presented as a traditional homemaker. The series directly addressed dissatisfaction in marriage, money, sex, and family life. This approach quickly generated mixed reactions. Al was often placed in situations involving failure or embarrassment, while family members regularly mocked and confronted one another. Ed O'Neill later said the show could address subjects that many other sitcoms were unwilling to put on television. The first major controversy erupted in early 1989 when Her Cups Runneth Over aired on January 15th. Some viewers considered its content and imagery excessive for family television. One of its strongest opponents was Terry Rakolta, a woman from Michigan who decided to launch a campaign against the show. Rakolta contacted dozens of the program's sponsors and asked them to reconsider advertising during Married with Children. She described the content as excessively vulgar and called the program soft-core pornography, causing the dispute to attract widespread attention. The campaign placed significant pressure on Fox. Several major companies, including Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Procter & Gamble, and Kimberly-Clark, withdrew advertisements or reduced their presence on the program. For a young network, the reaction from advertisers became an issue that could not be ignored. Fox subsequently made adjustments. Married with Children was moved to a different time slot, while its content faced tighter controls. Several controversial episodes were not immediately broadcast, including I'll See You in Court, which later became known as a lost episode. I'll See You in Court remained unaired for years. In 2002, several years after the series ended, the episode was finally broadcast, closing one of the most controversial chapters in the show's history. The boycott also produced an unexpected effect. News of the campaign introduced Married with Children to more people, including viewers who had never watched it. The controversy became unintended publicity and helped attract further attention to the series. The show continued developing its distinctive style through increasingly bold episodes. One notable example was You Better Watch Out, the Christmas episode in which Santa Claus falls into the Bundy family's yard. Situations like this showed that the program had no intention of returning to the traditional family sitcom formula. The success of Married with Children also helped strengthen Fox during its early years. A program that had caused concern among advertisers became one of the productions that helped the new network establish its identity. Al Bundy and his family quickly became familiar figures to American television audiences. By the end of the 1980s, Married with Children had survived the threat of being dropped and continued to grow. Terry Rakolta's protest became one of the most discussed events in the series' history. While demonstrating how sharply the program differed from the family sitcoms of its time, behind the laughter on-screen cracks were beginning to appear in the relationships among the people who had built the series. Behind-the-scenes secrets. After the 8th season, Ed O'Neill's manager, Bernie Brillstein, used his client's position to demand a new contract. Columbia Television was unhappy with the negotiations, especially after O'Neill cited back pain during the process. According to accounts of the dispute, the studio even hired a private investigator to follow the actor and check his condition. The dispute eventually ended with O'Neill securing a new contract and a substantial pay increase. The deal placed him among the highest-paid television actors at the time and reportedly included a Porsche Carrera 4 worth around $95,000, reflecting how much his position had changed after several successful seasons. While the salary dispute was resolved, relationships within the cast became increasingly complicated. One of the most strained involved Amanda Bearse, who played Marcy Rhodes, and later Marcy Darcy. In 1989, TV Guide featured 4 members of the Bundy family on its cover, leaving Bearse and David Garrison off the cover. Bearse felt the decision was inappropriate and wanted O'Neill to stand up for her. He did not do so, and the decision became one of the factors that damaged their relationship. The tension was not always visible on camera, but their growing distance became increasingly apparent at work. Another incident occurred around Bearse's wedding. O'Neill and David Faustino were not invited. Bearse later explained that she was concerned they might laugh when the two brides wore tuxedos. O'Neill eventually acknowledged that his reaction to matters involving Bearse had been wrong. The tension continued after Bearse began directing episodes of Married with Children. Working together as actor and director led to major arguments, including confrontations in the makeup trailer area. Their disagreements involved both professional differences and personal tensions that had been building for years. While discussing, Bearse O'Neill once made a particularly harsh remark about having a button that could eliminate her. The comment reflected the seriousness of their conflict, and he later admitted that he regretted saying it. The two remained distant for many years while continuing to work together on the series. Their situation reflected a reality of long-running sitcoms. Cast members could remain professional even when personal relationships had changed. The set itself was also known for its unusually freewheeling atmosphere. Sam Kinison, who had been considered during the original casting process, was known for extreme jokes and was once said to have brought a stripper to the set. Ed O'Neill, meanwhile, was known for rarely breaking character while filming. His ability to remain focused helped keep Al Bundy's scenes consistent, even when the situations around him could make the cast laugh. One of the rare occasions when he was said to have broken character occurred during a Christmas episode. That detail became a memorable behind-the-scenes story, because Al Bundy was normally portrayed with a calm, weary attitude toward the absurd situations surrounding him. Even with the tensions behind the camera, O'Neill continued playing the character as the series moved through its later seasons. The cracks behind the scenes did not stop Married with Children from moving forward. Al Bundy remained at the center of the show while the cast continued working through new seasons. At the same time, signs of an eventual ending were beginning to emerge. The unexpected end. In 1990, several episodes became landmarks in the show's history. You Better Shop Around was produced as a two-part story, continuing to explore familiar situations involving the Bundy family. It's a Bundyful Life took the story structure in a different direction, while No Ma'am and Hot Off the Grill continued to reinforce the series' distinctive comedic style. All Night Security. Dude was also an episode Ed O'Neill mentioned when discussing some of his favorites. Stories like these helped maintain Al Bundy's image as a consistent character who frequently found himself in trouble while remaining a central connection between several different storylines in the program. The cast also began undergoing important changes. David Garrison, who played Steve Rhodes, decided to leave the series. His departure created a gap in Marcy's storyline. Ted McGinley later joined the cast as Jefferson Darcy, who became Marcy's new husband and brought a different type of character to the series. The casting change did not cause the series to lose its familiar formula. Jefferson was quickly incorporated into stories with Al Peggy Kelly and Bud. Ted McGinley also became an important member of the cast in the following seasons as the show continued expanding the comedic situations surrounding the Bundy and Darcy families. While the series maintained its distinctive style, its position in the television ratings began to change. After many seasons on the air, the audience was no longer growing at the same rate. Fox also repeatedly adjusted the broadcast schedule, forcing Married with Children to move to different time slots several times. These scheduling changes came as the American sitcom market became increasingly competitive. New programs were attracting viewers' attention, while Married with Children had entered its final seasons. The series still had a loyal audience, but it no longer held the same position it had during its most successful period. By the final season, the cast continued completing their work, without knowing exactly how the series would end. Unlike some programs that had planned a farewell episode in advance, Married with Children did not have a finale designed as an official conclusion to the entire Bundy family story. In 1997, Fox canceled Married with Children after 11 seasons and a total of 259 episodes. The decision left the actors without an extended period to prepare for a farewell. The series ended after a long run, but there was no concluding episode that provided the kind of final resolution many viewers might have expected. The way Ed O'Neill learned that the show had been canceled later became one of the most notable stories surrounding its ending. On the Misi podcast in 2024, with Christina Applegate, he recalled that he was staying at a bed and breakfast in Youngstown, Ohio, his hometown, when he met a newlywed couple. The couple told O'Neill that they were sorry about his show. They had just heard on the radio that Married with Children had been canceled. O'Neill had not received the news directly from them beforehand. Instead of leaving, he stayed and had champagne with the couple in a situation that was completely unexpected. Christina Applegate also did not learn the news directly from Fox. According to what she and O'Neill shared during the conversation, the information reached key cast members through other people before the network officially contacted them. The direct notification came later, with a period that O'Neill described as several weeks. But as the screen gradually closed on the Bundy family, the story of the people behind those characters was far from over. An enduring legacy. After the series ended, Married with Children continued to hold a special place in American television history. The show helped Fox establish its identity during its early years and paved the way for family sitcoms willing to tackle edgier subjects. Al Bundy also became a familiar figure in popular culture, with his lines, images, and situations continuing to appear in discussions of classic television. For Ed O'Neill, leaving Al Bundy did not end his television career. He continued working in film and television before taking on the role of Jay Pritchett in Modern Family. The series ran for 11 seasons and gave O'Neill another major television role. In 2024, he also appeared in Clipped, a television series centered on Donald Sterling. Outside acting, O'Neill continued practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and earned a black belt. He has generally kept his private life away from the spotlight. He is married to Catherine Russoff, while some sources estimate his net worth at around $45 million and report that he owns properties in California and Hawaii. Katie Seagal also maintained a steady career after Peggy Bundy. She continued voicing Leela in Futurama and appeared in other television projects. In 2026, she took on the role of Dr. Kureha in the second season of One Piece, joining a franchise with a large international audience. Christina Applegate followed a different path after the series. In 2021, she publicly revealed her multiple sclerosis diagnosis and later shared more about the challenges she faced. In March 2026, she released her memoir, You with the Sad Eyes, continuing to discuss her personal experiences and career. Applegate's health remained a subject of public attention in 2026. According to information released in recent months, she went through an extended period of treatment and was discharged from the hospital in early August. She continued to face significant health challenges while maintaining the sense of humor that has long been part of her public persona. David Faustino remained active in entertainment after playing Bud Bundy. He continued working in television, appearing on podcasts and programs connected to the original series. He also discussed the possibility of bringing Married with Children back, with some reboot ideas coming close to production. Amanda Bears pursued directing and continued working in television after playing Marcy. She has generally remained private when discussing her past disagreements with O'Neill. Her reference to the Thumper rule reflected her preference for leaving old conflicts in the past. In January 2026, several former cast members reunited for an evening with the Bundys at the Wiltern Theater. The event raised funds for Race to Erase MS, with Christina Applegate among those attending. She later said she believed she may have contracted COVID from the reunion. A revival of Married with Children also came close to becoming reality. Sony had developed an animated reboot expected to feature members of the original cast. In July 2025, the project was officially canceled, putting another pause on plans to bring the Bundy family back to television. Married with Children left a lasting mark on American sitcom history, while the stories surrounding Al Bundy continue to attract audiences. From unexpected decisions on set to stories revealed years later, the series remains a source of behind-the-scenes discoveries. If you enjoy stories about famous shows and stars, subscribe to the channel today. The videos ahead will bring you more little-known facts, rarely discussed stories, and details that may make you see familiar characters in a completely different way.